It's time for Wave 3 Listens Live on Kentuckiana's first live local TV talk show, all hosted by John Ramsey. This is Wave 3 Listens Live.
And welcome to the Monday edition of Wave 3 Listens Live. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We've got a nice show brewing, and here's what's on the list here. Let's take a look at the show rundown here. Tony Walker is in the house. He is the author and creator of the Worry-Free Retirement. We'll talk about your worry-free retirement. If you know someone with ADD, Attention Deficit Disorder, got some great information for you from the Learning Disabilities Association of Kentucky. Dr. Eli Karam is here. He is a licensed marriage and family therapist. In fact, if you have an issue, I encourage you to call now because the phone lines will jam up. So real quickly, it's 571-5263. Call him with any marriage, family, any issue that you may have. He can help you out here. And also, we're going to talk about choosing Chicago. We're going to give away a trip to Chicago. And with me now is my friend Michael Sam. He is with, I don't know if it's, would you call it, Michael, you're with the Chicago Visitors Bureau? That's what we call it here. What do you call it in Chicago?
Yeah, you could think of it as the Visitors Bureau, but Choose Chicago is the name of the organization.
All right, let's talk a little bit about all the things that are happening in the summertime in Chicago. There's so many reasons to make that little short trip north. And I'm thinking if you love music, blues, gospel, jazz, whatever the case may be, you guys have so much going on.
Oh my God. Yeah, we do. Millennium Park's 10th anniversary is this year. We're super, super excited about all of the great events happening at the park. You know, we have all different types of free concerts. We have free art exhibits. We also have a free film series happening in the park. So we're super excited about all that stuff. We also, in addition to that, we also have the Millennium Park Bean and the Crown Fountain at the park as well. So great opportunities for the entire family to come in and enjoy themselves.
You know, you're so accustomed, you know, you're right there in Chicago, and you know about all the great amenities and sites and events and museums. But when you say beyond the loop, and you're talking about Chicago, Michael, what does beyond the loop mean exactly?
You know, if you've been to Chicago before and you've done all the major attractions downtown, we want you to come back to Chicago and go beyond the loop and check out our great neighborhoods. So all of our neighborhoods have great shopping, great dining, great nightlife. Neighborhoods such as Lakeview, Lincoln Park, Uptown, Chinatown, which is the largest Chinatown in the Midwest. And Beyond the Loop is our new neighborhood web series. And basically, it's kind of like a TV show. You go to beyondtheloop.com and you travel through the neighborhoods with our hosts for the show, Edgar Blackman and Holly Laurent. And they go through the neighborhoods and they taste the food, they experience the nightlife, they enjoy the music, you know, so it kind of gets you affiliated with what we have going on in our neighborhoods, and from there you can go on our website, choosechicago.com, and book your trip and go and check out the neighborhood.
Once again, choosechicago.com. Now, when you mention food in Chicago, Chicago is synonymous with fantastic food. I always think about the Taste of Chicago. What's the exact date on that, Michael?
July 9th to the 13th is the Taste of Chicago. You know, we also have great festivals going on as well. We have the Blues Festival happening this weekend. That's June 13th to the 15th.
On the screen.
We have the Gospel Festival happening June 27th to the 29th. And we have the Jazz Festival happening August 28th to the 31st. So circle back to Taste of Chicago. We have not only great food at Taste of Chicago, but we have great music as well. And some great headliners for the Taste of Chicago this year, including Aloe Black, Janelle Monáe, and also Jeff Tweedy from Wilco. So great opportunities.
My goodness, and it's all free, folks. That's what I love. When I was looking at this lineup, I'm going, okay, how much is it going to cost me for this one or this one or this one? This is a lot of free activities for you and the family. So you go to Chicago on a budget. And by the way, the flights there are really inexpensive. It's not bad at all.
No, super cheap. You know, $150. You know, fly into Chicago, take the train right into the city. You know, it's super easy.
No question about it. Okay, now I want to talk about something as a sports fan. If you have a sports fan in your family, you're going to be interested in this. Wrigley Field is celebrating their 100th anniversary. Now you think about all, you know, Wrigley Field. Maybe the Cubs aren't known for winning a whole lot of ball games, but they're known for having the best time in a ballpark. There's no question about it.
That's true. You know, Wrigley Field is a great time for the entire family. There's no better year to come and check out the Cubs than this year at Wrigley Field. They're celebrating Wrigley Field's 100th birthday with 10 decade-themed homestands. So each homestand has different types of food promotions, special guests, and then we also have giveaways going on at the park, including free bobbleheads for the first couple thousand people that come into the park. So just great fun for the entire family.
Michael, Sam, you're on the inside. This is what you do for a living, so I love picking your brain about some of your favorite Chicago picks. And the good news is there's so many things to do. It seems like every year your picks change. So let's talk about it this year. Which one of these festivals would you go to? If you were recommending to your friend, you'd say, hey, this one is going to be really special.
I love Lollapalooza.
Oh, I do too. I've been to Lollapalooza a couple times, yes. Yeah. Who are the headliners this year?
Oh my God, we have Eminem, a bunch of different great headliners. You know, it's
always great.
Hundreds of great acts. But you know, obviously the ones that I mentioned, the Jazz Festival, the Blues Festival, those are all great, and those are great for like really authentic Chicago music, especially the Blues Festival and the Gospel Festival and things like that. I also have Wavefront Music Festival and a couple others, so just a lot of fun.
ChooseChicago.com is the place to go for your trip to Chicago. We're about to give away a trip to Chicago. We got another one coming up as well, so you're not out of the running yet. Before we give that away, I want to talk a little bit more about, we've mentioned about music, the gospel, the blues, the jazz, rock and roll. In fact, I remember at Lollapalooza, Lady Gaga was there, Coldplay, I've seen them there. So you all always have a fantastic lineup there. We touched upon the food a little bit. I'm going to talk about adult beverages. You guys have become somewhat of a brew town. Yeah. We take pride in that. We're still in the minor leagues, but Chicago, big time as far as Goose Island, a lot of great breweries, right?
Oh my God, we're known for our craft breweries. We also have Lagunitas Brewery opening up this year, which we're super excited about. Obviously, Goose Island's a staple, so lots of fun there. You know, Goose Island offers brewery tours as well, so you kind of get to see how the beer is made. It's really interesting.
Okay, we haven't talked about some of the museum experiences that you might want to take in. The Shed Aquarium, for one. Can we talk about that a little bit? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, the Shed Aquarium is absolutely amazing. You know, they have a couple of different cool things happening at the aquarium, but one in particular is penguin encounters. So you basically get to hang out with a penguin for 30 minutes, get your picture taken. You know, it's a lot of fun.
Wow, and look at some of those other museums up there. Art Institute of Chicago.
Yeah.
What is the field of museum?
Yeah, so these are our cultural institutions. We have the Museum of Science and Industry, we have the Field Museum, we have the Shed Aquarium, we have the Adler Planetarium, we have the Art Institute of Chicago. In addition to that, we have the Skydeck at the Willis Tower and the brand new 360 Chicago and Tilt attraction. And basically, they kind of renovated the John Hancock Observatory. You go up 1,000 feet in the air, and they tilt you 30 degrees over the side of the building, and you get a new angle on Chicago that you've never seen before. So, you know, our cultural institutions are absolutely amazing. And you know, in addition to that, we got the kind of the terrifying experiences, if you want to say it, with the tilt. You know, it's really cool.
So we've got all of the senses covered here. Of course, we've got the music for the sound. We have the taste of Chicago with great food. We talked a little educational experience for the kids. Talked about a little. There's something there for everyone. There's no question about it. And that's what I think is great about Chicago is, you know, we've talked about everything, shopping. I mean, all day long, and you can keep everyone busy with something they really truly enjoy.
Yeah, Mag Mile shopping. You know, if you're traveling with the ladies, you know, come and enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, though, guys. There, you might actually want to bring that wallet. A lot of the stuff is free, but the Magnificent Mile, it's going to cost you a little bit. All right, let's talk a little bit about this trip we're giving away today, if you would, Michael. I'm looking at it. This includes everything. This is really seen at first class, and we appreciate you doing this for our viewers.
So we have winner of this package. 2-night stay at the Hilton Chicago. You get a $100 gift certificate to Sullivan's Steakhouse, a $100 gift certificate to Prasino, excuse me. You also get the Chicago City Pass. So those cultural institutions that we mentioned, the Field Museum, the Planetarium, the Museum of Science and Industry, and so on and so forth, you get to see all of those with the Chicago City Pass. And so that's the package.
All right, that's the package. And I guess we can go ahead and give this bad boy away. Let's do it. Our winner for this first package, we have two, is Brittany Price. Congratulations to Brittany Price. You have won the trip to Chicago courtesy of Choose Chicago. Go to ChooseChicago.com. Is this the website that you recommend, or is there any place else they can go there for information, Michael, or is that the place to go?
That's where you want to go. ChooseChicago.com. That's CHOOSE Chicago.com. Great itineraries there. So if you're a music lover, if you're a food lover, if you're an art lover, you know, all different types of itineraries. So once you get to the city, you can kind of enjoy yourself. All different types of booking tools, so hotels, flights, etc. ChooseChicago.com.
All right, ChooseChicago.com. And we have another one real quickly. Before we go, you can still get involved. All you have to do is go to wave3.com and click on contest. This one includes a 2-night stay at the Witt Hotel, dining certificate at Zed 451. Yep. Is that right? Also, Francesca's Restaurant, valued at $100. A City Pass, the Shed Aquarium that we've talked about, the Willis Tower, the Field Museum, all access pass to all the museums. Anyway, it's all there. The deadline is Friday, July 4th. The winner will be announced Monday, July 7th. So sign up now, wave3.com, and once again, click on contest. Again, we encourage you to choose Chicago. Michael, Sam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great information. If you go to Chicago, get this guy's address. He'll take care of you, right?
I will.
I know he will. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk to Dr. Eli Karam. If you have an issue, a family or a marriage issue, 571-5263. Call now. Dr. Eli is next on Wave 3 Listens.
22 veterans a day commit suicide.
Many veterans struggle with post-traumatic stress, anger, and depression.
And military families can struggle with secondary post-traumatic stress that impacts the spouse and children.
Active Heroes is building a retreat to heal veterans and their families. We have a beautiful location, but we need your support to build the classroom, cabins, and welcome center so programs can begin. Make a small donation or donate monthly and help us reduce veteran suicide.
Donate at activeheroes.org.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah. We're good. So that sounded like a pretty good little package, huh?
Yeah, man. You can never that.
Here at Wave 3, we like to champion the military for all of their sacrifices. You can help as well win a dream room makeover. We want you to nominate someone because we're going to, some of these heroes that are coming home, that transition from military life to life here back home is a little tough. Let's make it easier. We're going to have a dream room makeover for a child 4 through 15. So one of the kiddos of one of these military personnel, they're going to come home. We're going to make them happy. All you have to do is go to wave3.com, click on contest, and you can nominate someone. Lots of folks to thank. Corpage Floor Covering, thank you very much. Ashley Furniture, Zaxby's, Meyer, and we thank you. Jump on in there. Once again, wave3.com, click on contest. All right, Dr. Eli Karam is here with us. We call him Dr. Eli. He is a licensed marriage and family therapist. If you have an issue you'd like to talk about on the air, 571-5263. This guy is very, very good. And for those who aren't comfortable with that, how can they get a hold of a licensed marriage and family therapist they may be comfortable with, doctor?
That's right. Every week we're giving you news you can use. So marriage and family therapists are trained to see strength and health even in the most challenging situations. So if you don't want to make a call but you'd like to consult a marriage and family therapist, it's real simple. You can go to our website, which is the Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, abbreviated KAMFT.org. That is a division of the American Association of Marriage and Family Therapy. John, there's about 50,000 marriage and family therapists all over the country, and we got about 400 LMFTs in the Kentucky area, many of those centrally located here in Wave Country. And here kind of giving you news you can use and advice on all your relationships, whether you be in a relationship or you're thinking about exiting one or dealing with in-laws or family members. Marriage and family therapists can help.
You know, we've talked about this on this show before, but I think now it's appropriate because it is wedding season, folks. And,
sure.
if you know someone who is maybe getting ready to get married, congratulations to you. However, let's play it smart. I think that's such a great idea to have premarital counseling.
Yeah.
Get them together, get in front of maybe some possible issues.
That's right. You know, a lot of people think that, we're young and in love and we don't need a marriage counselor or some prevention skills, but it's actually the best time to come in. Many people will have to get premarital work through their church, but if you don't, you can see any marriage and family therapist, and then, like I said, they're going to give you fair fighting skills, kind of skills to build intimacy, into how to hit these or navigate these expected roadblocks in the family life cycle. What do I mean by expected roadblocks? I mean around the birth of a child, around merging assets, all of these things that every couple is going to have to endure, and you get like a head start. So there's no stigma attached, and all you have to do is call any marriage and family therapist, ask them about how they work with premarital couples and whether, you know, a man or a woman, or find someone that is a good fit for you, and involve your partner, especially if you were the more willing of the two. Certainly involve your partner in the selection of a therapist. Any marriage and family therapist is going to be able to talk to you on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes, get a feel for you, you get a feel for them, and then make the fit.
All right. If you don't mind, I'd like to read an email
Sure.
that you received, only because I think this one is really timely.
Sure.
Here we go. This comes from Susan. It says, my husband and I both have little flexibility in our schedule. Our daughter just turned 12 and is pushing to not be around a babysitter this summer during the day while we're at work. Money's tight. She's been very responsible lately, but we are unsure if this is appropriate or not. How old should you be to stay at home alone? What safeguards should we put in place if we try this experiment out? I think a lot of folks are going through this, Doctor.
Yeah.
Is there an appropriate age, or is it based on the individual child?
Yeah, well, it's a tough one. I'm no super nanny, but I think that you got to consider, yes, the maturity level of your child. And in 12-year-olds, some function very responsibly. Some are more like 8 or 9 or 10. So you wouldn't want to leave them alone. So a couple of tips, I think. First of all, you want complete collaboration from your co-parent if you have one, or anyone helping you. A lot of times we think of, in this case you have a husband, but if you're using other family members, perhaps your own parent or extended family to help you in the summer or help you raise that child, you want a collaboration from all of your co-parental networks. So get on the same page with that first, and then set it up as an experiment. If this is something your daughter wants, especially, and it helps you too, because it sounds like money is tight from your message, then you set up an experiment, kind of a brief period of time, a couple of days or a trial on a week, to see if it works. And what do you do to prepare to see if it works? You should have a kind of a run through of what ifs, or if this happens, do this scenarios. And that would include a list of people to contact, some normal just maintenance of the house, what to do if a delivery person or somebody would solicit door to door, and then how to check in either with you or your husband during the day. And now with technology, it's great. You send a text, I'm home, I'm safe, back and forth. It doesn't need to be a long, drawn out conversation. So you want check in with your co-parent, and then you want a kind of scenarios of how to handle what would happen, and then how your son, or in this case daughter, can check in with you. But it's difficult in the sense that that is an age where, you know, still a lot can go wrong. But if you have a plan, it's at least worth trying it out. And again, if it doesn't work, even finances are tight, you as a parent's got to be committed to making a different plan. And 12 is that kind of age. I know your son, your youngest, is a little older than that, but 12 is that kind of in-between age where you don't want to go to camp, you don't want to set up a different arrangement. So it's one of those ages where the youngster is going to kind of try to assert their independence. They may or may not be ready for some of that.
At the risk of stereotyping, I have to ask you this question real quickly. Is it true that girls do mature faster for the most part? It seems to me emotionally and physically, girls seem to mature quicker. So will a girl at 12 maybe be equal to a boy at 13, 14 years old? It just seems to me that way. Is that true?
That's what we think in some ways, and you know, you can interpret research several ways. But I think in general, you want to look at not focusing just on the gender. You want to look: is this my son and daughter responsible? Have they been making good choices? And in a scenario, even if they are responsible, do they know what to do? Do we have enough resources around if something goes wrong before you make a decision like that?
You know, we're looking at this, kids being out of school. We were talking about marriage. This is marriage season. Are there any other, I guess, issues that you encounter more during this season, during the spring season? What
we have a lot. Well, that
last
last segment got me thinking, missing originally from Louisville, but Chicago is like my second home. So this idea of taking a family trip in the summer, which can be very good. It can be, you know, we think of stress as this negative thing, but there's also what we call positive stress, eustress. Well, how to plan a family vacation that everybody can get something out of. And a place like Chicago is great because it's close enough, and there's a lot of stuff to do. You could appeal to everybody in the family. But yeah, we'll see a lot of families either complaining that, you know, they don't get to pick part of the trip, or if finances are tight, they're not getting to go on that trip. So they're having to find kind of staycations, if you will, things that are close and convenient, that don't really hit the pocketbook that much. But lots of families are talking about how to do that, and also parents, this idea of protected time and couple time. If your kids are older, even if they're not, this idea of getting alone, prioritizing that, sometimes that's very important in these long-term relationships. But you have to also have the child care piece set up. Many marriage and family therapists are working with couples doing that, and they can't really enjoy their vacation because they're worried about what's going on at home. So you have to have the home front set up before you can enjoy the vacation.
It makes perfect sense. All right, again, if you need a licensed marriage and family therapist, we're going to give you a couple of websites to go to. And Doc, as you said, most of these professionals do not mind if you give them a call. Ask them a few questions. That's okay.
No, it's an interpersonally oriented business. So if your person that you're potentially interviewing won't talk to you, that's not a good sign. Most LMFT, licensed marriage and family therapist, will. Go to the website there, kmft.org. You can also go to www.therapistlocator.net. There you see it right there. Click on that rectangular box. That's going to give you a listing of all of the LMFTs in the Wave Country area. And you can also send us an email. We use your emails every week on the show, and they provide our content for our segments. And you can do that at kmft@twc.com. Also can email us directly from the website and just tell you want your question answered on the show. Thanks so much.
Dr. Eli, you're one of the best in the business. What are the odds of someone getting to see you? Okay.
I'm a busy guy.
Okay, enough said. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Eli Karam. Coming up, if you have a young person who may have a learning disability, we're going to define that. We're going to talk about a very important event. Coming up next, the LDA of Kentucky on Wave 3 Listens. Does he sound good? Mic check's good?
One smart fella, he felt smart. Two smart fellas.
Hello, I'm Tom Owen. Join me in supporting Farmington Historic Plantation's fundraising campaign. Your gifts will help support Farmington's community and educational programs on its scenic 18-acre site, providing a fun place to learn about a historic hemp plantation and our connection to Abraham Lincoln. Help preserve Farmington's future as one of Louisville's most important historic treasures. Please visit farmingtondonations.com.
Now, there is a lot of information out there about learning disabilities, some of it misnomers, much of it false. We're going to talk about that a little bit with a man who knows. This is Tim Woods, who is the Executive Director of the Learning Disabilities of Kentucky. Tim, before we talk and get specific about learning disabilities, there does seem to be the stigma about learning disabilities that says, well, those people have low intelligence. And that's just not true, right?
Right, nothing could be further from the truth. If you're diagnosed with what's termed a learning disability or attention deficit disorder, by definition, you have to have at least an average intelligence, if not a high average intelligence. And the disability has to do with your ability to actually read in context or do math in a way that makes sense. And that's, I know it's hard to explain like that, but basically LD and ADHD, folks with those diagnoses by definition are very intelligent.
Yep, it's funny you say this, and I am familiar only because I had a son who suffered from this, and it was explained to me like this. It just said it's about how your brain learns how to learn, how it knows how to learn, and you've got to help them with how they can overcome this, and just learn in a different way. Luckily, he's grown out of it. He's an AB student. I'm as proud as I can be of him, but there was a time when it was a struggle. So the good news is something can be done, right?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of interventions, lots of strategies that you can use. Now, because it's a learning difference in many cases, what you've got to come up with is it's not the same for every child. Every child's intervention would be different. Sure. In the sense that, and we have multiple ways to deal with kids that that have dyslexia, that have dysgraphia, that have dyscalculia, which is the math learning disability, along with kids ways to get kids to focus when they've got ADHD.
Majority of us probably know someone who has a learning disability. You have an event coming up, and the featured speaker there is Dr. Larry Silver. Tell me about Dr. Silver and what makes him such an expert. By the way, there's the information on your screen, so you might want to jot this down.
Right. Dr. Silver is probably the preeminent expert on LD and ADHD in America. He's not as famous as a few people like Ned Hallowell, but he's the source, basically. I don't want to compare him to Yoda, but he would be basically in the LD or ADHD world. He would be that. He knows so much about this, and it's a rare opportunity to actually get to see him speak. Now, we do have an opportunity for your viewers today too, that if you go to our website, which is ldaofky.org, which is at the bottom of the screen, there's a link to purchase tickets for that, and for the next 24 hours, if they type in from the link to purchase tickets online, if they type in Wave 3 Listens, they can get tickets for 50% off, as in
half price.
Half price.
Love that.
So that's just for until noon tomorrow. So
fantastic. We appreciate that, Tim. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that, we talk about how things have changed, and especially with dealing with ADD. And a lot of the argument you hear out there is we all have a measure of probably attention deficit. Why do you think there's a sudden surge of, or I guess awareness about attention deficit disorder? Is it because, commercials and music and social media, that attention spans are much shorter, or is it more complex than that?
Well, it's a little more complex than that, and I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Back in the 60s, when this all had different terminology, it was all thought to be the same thing. It used to be called minimal brain dysfunction, and so it was all connected that way. And so you didn't hear as much about it. The terms split out like in the 70s, and then you really heard a lot about it. It started about 25 years ago. The thing is that Kentucky, this was a study that came out from the CDC last month, that Kentucky is #1 in reported cases of ADHD. That we are at almost 19%. That's nearly 1 in 5 of kids that are diagnosed with ADHD. Ooh. So with that in mind, bringing Dr. Silver in to give you information about how that can create other problems with a child, that might create depression down the road. There's a lot of things that are comorbid with ADHD. It's very important to get that kind of information to teachers and to parents and to other professionals.
And I think it's interesting because there's not one size fits all, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it takes medication, sometimes not medication.
That's correct.
Sometimes it's a simple fix, sometimes a little bit more complex, but something can be done. Okay, let's put that information on the screen one more time. And Tim, if you would, I want you to invite everyone to this event. As you said, if they go to that website at the bottom of the page, right?
That's
Put
correct.
in Wave 3 Listens in there, and you'll give them half price.
There's a link to a purchase page on that website. That's ldaofky.org is our website, and there's a button right at the top of the screen with Dr. Silver's picture and say purchase tickets for this event. And if you go to that, click on that, you'll get a page to purchase it and a place to put the promo code, which is Wave 3 Listens.
Okay, and to put this in perspective, if you were a basketball fanatic, it's like going to watch Rick Pitino speak. He knows it all.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing, right?
The equivalent of, yes, it would be.
We got to do this, right? He's Yoda.
Yeah, he is.
All right, Tim, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank
it's
you
good
for having me.
information and much needed. Really appreciate that. All right, coming up, speaking of good information, you're getting ready for your worry-free retirement. You need the expertise of Tony Walker. He is in the house. He's next on Wave 3 Listens.
You've seen the videos of soldiers returning home and surprising their children. Imagine surprising our littlest military heroes with amazing bedroom makeovers for their many sacrifices. Join Wave 3 News and Active Heroes in celebrating our local military families with a Dream Room Makeover. Go to wave3.com and click the Dream Room Makeover tab to nominate a military child and their family.
The Wave 3 News Dream Room Makeover is sponsored by Ashley Furniture, Heritage Ford, Charlie Wilson's Appliance and TV, and others.
Fit thing she did. This is kind of funny. It'll lead into.
We have another dog video?
Yeah, we'll have Stella. Yeah, we'll go after Stella.